When you hear the phrase the ultimate Naruto ninja, what do you think about? Is it a character with the legendary truth-seeking orbs, the ability to unleash tailed beast Razengans, and maybe even tap into the godlike Byron mode? And while that admittedly does sound very powerful, I don't even know if that would be capable of taking out someone like, say, Ten-Tails Madara. No, I think that we can do much better than that. Much better. I'm thinking about a character so powerful that just by existing, he breaks the entire narrative. Someone that single-handedly can level entire countries, bend reality to its will, and even control life and death. That's right, today we're going to create the real God of Shinobi. Now, to determine a ninja's true power level, we can break things up pretty much into 3 categories: physical traits, techniques, and equipment. Physical traits are the parts that are based on characters' lineage. Things like clans, chakra nature, dojutsu, and really anything that has to do with your body. Then of course there's techniques, which is basically all jutsu, including clan-specific ones known in the Naruto world also as Kekkei Genkai. These are things like the Uchiha Sharingan or the Nara clan's Shadow Possession. Basically, there are special abilities that you typically have to be a part of a clan for in order to have them. And then finally, a character's equipment. Things like ninja tools, weapons, and armor, and while they might not sound as impressive, these items are actually going to truly be a make it or break it type of aspect of our character, and you will see why in just a moment. But overall, as you can imagine, our ultimate Naruto character will only get the best of the best parts of all 3 of these categories. And with that said, let's meet our soon-to-be God of Shinobi, the man who will surpass Madara, Hashirama, and even Naruto himself. This is Caruto, and he's 20 years old, he's 6'2", and of course, he is absolutely shredded. He has long, flowing white hair, a devilish smile, and a birthmark on his left calf. But his real claim to fame, his real special ability, is that he can run over 120 miles per hour. That's faster than most cars. So move over, Yellow Flash, this man is all about speed. Like, he'll have you questioning if you're even a ninja after he speed blitzes by you. Oh, and on top of that, he also practices arts and crafts, spending his Sundays building lawn decor like statues and bird pool. But now, I'll have to be honest, this guy is not really a good dude. I mean, he's not full-on villain if you get me, but he definitely is very much in that anti-hero kind of zone. You see, he got into some really bad gambling debt and lost his house, his wife, and his kids in a very nasty divorce. He's pretty much down on his luck, and instead of, doing the healthy thing, trying to work through things properly, maybe with therapy, instead he decided, he'd just become the strongest, become a god, and just take everything back that he desires. And luckily for him though, he comes from a clan with one of the most broken abilities in Naruto that will really help him achieve his dreams. Here's the deal. When it comes to unique clans in Naruto, there's a bunch of powerful options. There is big names like the Senju, Uchiha, and the Uzumaki clan, for example. All of those are absolute powerhouses and have produced truly legendary ninjas like Hashirama, Madara, and obviously Naruto and Sasuke. But when it really comes down to it, all of their special abilities have been shown to be used by non-clan ninjas as well. I mean, think about it. Kakashi, for instance, is a master of the Sharingan, rivaling Obito, Sasuke, and Itachi in how effectively he can manage to use his fancy eyeballs by the end of the Great Ninja War. The Senju are also just incredibly gifted fighters, and while Hashirama's style is truly beyond broken, anyone with his cells implanted can actually use his special wood style technique as well, as seen by the likes of Madara or Yamato. And so that's why Caruto here truly needs to be from a clan with a completely beyond broken ability, and specifically one that you could only get if you were actually a member of that family. Which really leaves us only with one option in my books, the Hozuki clan. Oh yeah, that's right, I bet you weren't expecting that to be his clan now, were you? But believe me, it is the objectively correct choice here. I mean, for those of you who don't know, the Hozuki clan is where Suigetsu, this member of Sasuke's team Taka, is actually from. They are one of, if not the most powerful clan in the Hidden Mist village, even having a former Mizukage Hokage and notorious members of the 7 ninja swordsmen like Mangetsu. And now, yeah, for sure, they do have a bit of a legacy, but the real reason I picked the Hozuki clan is because they have the most broken Kekkei Genkai out there, the hydrification technique. This power lets a Hozuki clan member turn their body into pure water, making them immune to basically all physical damage unless it's reinforced with powerful chakra. That means that with this very flexible ability, they can sneak around, walk through prison bars as seen here by Suigetsu, and even fuse with larger pools of water to create a Susanoo-like form as well. Not to mention that when they need more physical power, they can simply pump water into their body parts to make them huge and way stronger, which is exactly what Suigetsu uses to wield his own massive sword, like it's basically nothing. And it's thanks to these natural traits that Caruto was able to steal enough money to start a payment plan for his gambling debt in the first place. However, I will admit it does have one glaring weakness, and that is of course lightning release. Because their body is naturally water, lightning damage is insanely effective against a Hozuki clan member as well. But don't worry, because this is the most broken character, we do have a clear-cut solution for that coming up in just a bit. But for now, Caruto Hozuki has a nearly invincible body that's flexible for any possible situation. But why stop there? Because of course he has 2 parents, so let's give him another family member from another clan to really boost his chances of getting truly world-breaking powers. And since we've got a very unique ability from his Kekkei Genkai, I think Caruto should be from another clan whose natural talents and skills will raise him to that God of Shinobi level. Which is of course why the Sarutobi clan is the absolute perfect choice here. Well, that's because even Hashirama and Tobirama recognize that Sarutobi are completely busted. And that's of course all thanks to the 3rd Hokage, Hiruzen. This old man may not seem like that much at first glance, but oh boy, he is a true walking nightmare. For one, he's the master of the legendary Sannin, Jiraiya, Orochimaru, and Tsunade, and he's also titled God of Shinobi, much like Hashirama. Not to mention that the Sarutobi clan are all incredibly gifted at using multiple chakra natures, which will absolutely be proving useful for Caruto when we talk about his next physical ability as well. Because of course, it's now time to shift into the truly broken parts of this fanfiction that you've all been waiting for. Let's give this dude some truly crazy broken eyeballs. And I'm not even gonna pretend that maybe he would want a Byakugan, because compared to the Sharingan, it's pretty much garbage, let's be real. So let's talk about which Sharingan Caruto is going to have and something else special as a bonus afterwards as well. However, first, before we can give them to him, the most important thing is, how does he get them? I mean, since he's not an Uchiha, he's going to either have to steal them or be gifted them. And I think since we've established by now that Caruto isn't exactly the nicest dude in town who has the power of friendship as well, he's going to just run over the local playground and grab some poor kid's eyeballs instead. But not just one kid, 2 different children. He's going to grab the left eye from one and the right eye from the other. After all, for some reason in Naruto, all you have to do is just rip those things out of someone's skull and then you can just pop them into your own eye socket with no problems at all. Medically very questionable, also ethically, I am so sorry little Uchiha children. Your sacrifices will not be in vain though, and if you're wondering why it has to be 2 different kids, well, it will be important later, I do promise. But now that he finally has his fancy new eyes, he will gain increased power, speed, and also chakra control. And on top of that, he also gains the super busted ability to copy his opponent's jutsu and fighting style, and can even predict their next moves by reading micro movements of their muscles and their chakra. And as you might have guessed, this is the ability that's really going to let Caruto shift into broken tier. But don't you worry, all of you Naruto fans out there. Caruto is of course also going to have to awaken it to the Mangekyo Sharingan as well. Do you really think I'd forget the most fancy of the eyes there? No. Now, what exactly do I mean by Mangekyo Sharingan? Mangekyo, by the way, just means kaleidoscope, which I guess makes sense with all the crazy shapes that it gets. Well, this transformation is pretty much what happens when the regular Sharingan evolves into a super-powered form that increases all of the user's base stats and gives them access to a unique dojutsu, aka an eyeball power. Now, the downside here is that the only way to evolve the Sharingan is through intense emotional and physical trauma and true emotional attachment. Luckily for Caruto, when his pet hamster Hiro here suffers a fatal car accident, Caruto's love and rage boils over and awakens his flashy red eyes, giving them a cool new pattern, the cool S. You know, the one you draw on the desk as a kid in middle school? Yeah, that's right. That's what Caruto's Mangekyo Sharingan actually looks like. I guess both of them are different eyeballs technically, so he does need a different pattern for the other one. Let's just say it's a square. Just a black box and a cool S. Yeah, that'll work, I guess. And with this now, he'd possibly even be able to awaken his own Susanoo. Now, this very special jutsu has an impenetrable outer body made out of pure chakra. It has also the power to destroy mountains in a single sword slice or tank truly insane attacks like the ultimate lightning jutsu Kirin or even the infinite Tsukuyomi, a genjutsu capable of targeting the entire planet. Now, for the longest time we thought that only an Uchiha can actually pull off this move, but Kakashi proves to us that you don't have to be from the clan when he uses his Susanoo during the Ninja War after he has 2 Mangekyo Sharingan as well. Which just means, I guess, that Caruto gets a giant avatar of destruction for himself as well. Now, even though this is already pretty broken, remember that we're only in the first of 3 categories, and for the final addition to Caruto's body, we have some of Hashirama Senju's cells as well, of course. Luckily for him, the supermarket has a sale on dead guy body parts this week, and thanks to the hydrification technique, Caruto can actually just take some and directly infuse them into his body. Now, I know that this is a bit of a weird thing, but just listen to how insane this really gets. By combining the body of the first Hokage into Caruto, he's going to gain insane healing jutsu that will make his potential just skyrocket even more. However, even more importantly, he will gain the ability to transform one of his Sharingan into the legendary Rinnegan. I don't know why I just said that way. Now, what is the Rinnegan? Well, it is the final stage eyeball for any Uchiha and is literally the lens of gods. It is a power based down by the Sage of the Six Paths and can only be achieved by combining the chakras of his children, Ashura and Indra. Now, luckily for the Uchiha clan, these two reincarnate their chakras throughout the ages, which is why characters like Sasuke and Madara were actually able to unlock it. That's because they were the reincarnations of Indra, and luckily Hashirama was Ashura's host at some point as well, so once they got a hold of his cells, or were gifted said power from Hagoromo himself, they unlocked their final form. And for the sake of Caruto, he just happened to have stolen Indra's eyeballs from that kid on the playground. What? You thought that Caruto was gonna be Indra's reincarnation? Absolutely not. He's not chosen by fate, he's chosen by me. I'm carefully crafting him into the true God of Shinobi. After all, destiny does in this case bend to my will. It would be too easy to have him be the reincarnation of Indra, I think. So instead, he's stealing the kid's eyeball, and maybe one day that young man will go on a revenge quest to slay Caruto. Actually, he probably very likely will, but until then, our god in the making is officially completely and utterly breaking the universe just with his body. But now, with his physical build out of the way, let's really get into why all of that min-maxing was that important, because it's now time for part 2 and Caruto's abilities, and oh boy, he is about to bend reality itself. Now, let's start with Caruto's chakra nature. He has a natural skill in water release, and that really helps with his Hozuki clan abilities, but since he's also a Sarutobi, he's generally able to use and pick up other nature releases with ease as well. Whether it's fire, lightning, earth, or wind, if he wants to learn it, he'll have no problem, especially with his Mangekyo Sharingan, because those eyeballs will let him master just about any technique that he wants, really. But there are two abilities in particular that he would never be able to copy, and well, there's a good reason for that. They are the actual special jutsu from the Mangekyo Sharingan. Now remember, when I said that he stole his eyes from two different kids? Well, I told you there was a reason for that, because by having two different eyes, Caruto gains access to the two most powerful Sharingan powers as well. In his left eye, he has the legendary ability of Kamui. It's the jutsu that Obito and Kakashi use to quite literally rip holes into space and time. They can use it to send objects, people, and just about anything that they want into a separate pocket dimension. Obito uses his right eye powers to transfer his own body into that void, making him nearly impossible to hit. However, Caruto can pretty much already do that with his hydrification technique, so I opted to give him the left eyeball instead. The left one is the one that Kakashi uses that allows him to fire off Kamui at a distance. And so basically, by focusing on a spot in the distance, Caruto can now suck anything into a different pocket dimension. Which is good for you, Caruto, because those mafia bosses that you owe immense sums of money, they're just about to vanish like that. And as for his right eye, I think it's fairly obvious that he must have Itachi and Sasuke's absolutely terrifying ability, Amaterasu. Named after the literal Japanese sun god, this jutsu allows the user to create black flames that burn forever until their target is completely reduced to ashes. To say the least, these eternal flames are truly nasty and give Caruto some serious offensive firepower as well. Now, honestly, between the stolen eyes, the Mangekyo abilities, and his body, Caruto is already a real menace to all of society, but we aren't even close to being done with him because we haven't even talked about his Rinnegan. In the main story, we see Nagato, Sasuke, and Madara use this ability to the absolute peak, and honestly, there's no stopping Caruto with it anymore either. He now controls the laws of physics and reality, and he also looks super freaky now on top of that as well. He can unleash the world-altering almighty pull, which is an ability that lets him create a black hole that drags the landscape into it, creating a meteor-like object that can be dropped on just about anything that Caruto wants to destroy, say the casino. He also gains access to the almighty push, a wave of power that can level the entire Leaf Village, as seen when Pain uses it in the most iconic villain moment of the entire franchise. Now, those are already all pretty broken jutsu, but that's not even the start of it, because the Rinnegan also lets the user control all 6 paths of the Great Sage Hagoromo, which means that Caruto can now, and I really can't make this up, steal people's souls, transform his body into a living machine, absorb all types of jutsu, summon godlike beings, and also has control over life and death. And if he ever gets bored, he can just choose to separate all of these abilities across 6 different bodies and exist inside all of them at the same time. Let me put this bluntly, at this point, Caruto here is already a god. I mean, look at him. And yet he still got way more in his back pocket to go. Because why settle for the 6 paths of power and the Uchiha techniques? After all, he is skilled enough with all chakra nature, so let's start running around the world stealing every single broken ability there is left to steal. Like, Caruto wants to become a stronger fighter. Let's learn both the 8 gates technique and the non-canon 7 heavenly breathing forms. Both of these very unique powers are used by Rock Lee and Might Guy to unleash their full inner power. By opening their chakra paths in their body and kicking them into overdrive, their user can boost their physical powers beyond the gods. Don't believe me? Well, Rock Lee and Might Guy were literally the only people in the Shinobi Alliance that could even harm the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki form of Madara Uchiha. And by using the 8th gate of death, Might Guy became the strongest taijutsu, aka hand-to-hand combat user, in the entire franchise. This form lets him use all of the techniques that he mastered like Asakujaku and Hirudora, and also lets him unleash the infamous Night Guy and Midnight Elephant, the two ultimate moves that are only available at the Gate of Death. The only minor downside to this is that it kills him, which technically makes it a one-time use move, but if you're Caruto, who as we just learned controls life, death, and souls, I guess he can just use the 8th gate as often as he wants. Oh, and before I forget, he can of course also boost his physical power with the Sharingan, so he's officially the strongest taijutsu user in the world. But now, what if Caruto doesn't want to use his Rinnegan or Kamui? Like, what if he gets pink eye and doesn't want to open his eyes, or he's tired? Well, don't worry, because all it takes is a trip over to the hidden stone village to copy the literal delete button ability particle style. In case you don't know, this technique is handed down to the Tsuchikage, the leader of the stone village, and it's also the only Keke Tota, or an ability that is a combination of 3 different nature releases. In this case, it's fire, wind, and earth. Which sounds cool, but what it actually means is that by combining these 3 chakra types, a user can literally reduce anything in the target area of a particle style to, well, its particles into dust. Is your dog barking too loudly outside your door? Dust! Are those pesky neighborhood kids getting a little too loud down at the playgrounds? Dust! What if someone didn't put their shopping cart back to the cart return? You guessed it, dust! But Manu, how can he use this crazy ability? Well, I told you that Caruto can copy anything, and this is where his Sarutobi side comes fully into play. This versatility with chakra types really helps him flawlessly master even this technique, 3 chakra natures that are the complete opposite of everything else that he does naturally. And why stop there? Let's just keep upping this dude's power and not only give him a Sage mode, but also just make him straight up, of course, a Jinchuriki. Duh! Let's start with the nature powers of Senjutsu, the powers of the Sage. You see, one nice sunny Saturday when Caruto was just on a nice little hike, he was just taking it all in. The sea, the birds, the grass, touching some grass, all of it really. And at that moment, he realized that the true power of the world lies within it. And thus, he went to the library, found a book on Senjutsu, and taught himself Sage Mode. Thanks to this, Caruto can now infuse nature itself into his chakra, making it even more powerful than before. Let's go, Caruto, Sage God of Water, Life, Death, and I guess gambling as well. And after getting Sage Mode, next we also got to pick a tailed beast that we can shove inside this guy as well. Now, much like Naruto or Killer Bee, Caruto is of course going to become a tailed beast user because these 9 mythical beings are the direct result of the Sage of the Six Paths separating his own power from the world, and as a result, they all contain truly ridiculous amounts of chakra and destructive potential. You probably also know that they're marked by the numbers of tails that they have, scaling up in power from 1 to 9. Now, here's the deal. I really thought long and hard about which abilities each of them had and what would go well with Caruto. Something like Ink Release from the 8 Tails could add a quite unique sense of tactical skill. With a partner like Isobu, the 4 Tails, could give him even crazier water powers and access to coral techniques, but there's also the intense magma of Son Goku, the 4 Tails. There are really so many good options. How in the world am I supposed to choose one of them as the strongest? Nah, I'm just messing with you guys. We all know that Caruto, of course, is going to get Kurama, the 9 Tails. I mean, he is already crazy powerful, and so he clearly does deserve the title of the strongest tailed beast as well. The 9 Tails is capable of destroying entire villages and has the chakra reserves to spread its own power across the entire Shinobi Alliance and still hold its own against the 10 Tails as well. Not only that, it's also shown to be able to match the powers of a Rinnegan user, as shown during Naruto and Pain's fight, where Naruto goes blow for blow against the Diva Path while only manifesting 8 of its 9 tails. Alongside the 8 tails, the 9 tails was also shown to fight off all the other Jinchuriki and tailed beasts as well as Obito during the start of the final battle. He's also a bit of a tough cookie to crack emotionally, but I think he and Caruto would get along pretty great, honestly. Also, a quick add-on, while I have chosen to mostly avoid Boruto content for this video, despite the thumbnail, I know one of you guys is going to bring a Byron mode at least, and yes, by achieving a nuclear fission style form, Caruto could get rid of his 9-tailed powers to unleash an unbelievably strong, one-time only transformation. However, with the Rinnegan abilities, maybe he can even also keep Kurama's chakra and soul around as well. Regardless, it's not even necessary, I think, to make him even more broken, but I just wanted to cover it, and if you want me to include Boruto stuff as well, then let me know in the comments. We can make that one happen as well and make it even more insane. But yeah, you get it. Basically, if it's a jutsu or technique in the world of Naruto at this point, Caruto can learn it. So what about his sick gear? What rock solid weapons are at his disposal as well? Well, again, very conveniently, there was a yard sale going on and he was able to pick up some truly incredible weapons, tools, and pieces of armor. Now, while of course the red armor that Madara and Hashirama have is truly iconic, I think blue fits Caruto better, so we're gonna give him Tobirama's plate armor to truly build up that menacing presence. Alongside some classic ninja chainmail, a very common undershirt characters like Ino and Shikamaru wear to prevent small blades like kunai and shuriken from piercing their bodies. You know, if someone jumps behind them and goes, it doesn't work, because they were the chainmail. Now, let's talk about weapons, of course. Since he's embracing his Hozuki bloodline, let's just give Caruto all 7 swords of the Hidden Mist. After all, Mangetsu, his legendary ancestor, mastered all of them. And that guy didn't even have the godlike eyeballs of Caruto. And as you might know, these swords can do some truly wild things, like repairing themselves from the iron in an enemy's blood, explode because they're covered in paper bombs, or pierce like a needle to sew enemies together. Hey, really good thing that Caruto also takes knitting classes as well. However, the greatest blade here is of course Samehada, the sharkskin blade used by Kisame and Killer Bee throughout the series. In a nutshell, this living weapon can eat the chakras of its enemies, even consuming the actual jutsu that they fire off. And so thanks to Samehada, Caruto can actually avoid that pesky lightning that's especially harmful to his water body. And while Caruto does pretty much have access to basically any ninja tool that he wants, we're also going to give him the absolutely insane Flying Raijin Kunai as well. I mean, this 3-bladed throwing dagger is the signature weapon of Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage. And by combining the Flying Thunder God teleportation technique into his kunai, Minato can throw and teleport to his dagger at will. This of course helped give him the title of Yellow Flash due to his insane speed and movement options. And of course, since Caruto is also a history buff, he decided that this was a weapon he needed to have as well. So he ran over to the graveyard and used his Rinnegan to do the Rinne Rebirth Jutsu, an ultimate resurrection technique to bring Minato back to life. Then he immediately ripped the dagger from his cold dead hands and sent him back into the afterlife. Not to mention, when he's feeling like having a little fun, he ties that knife to some industrial strength chain and transforms his dagger into the infamous kunai and chain. Truly a legendary weapon that only the greatest shinobi can wield successfully. And with this addition to his toolkit, Caruto is way faster than even a moving car. He is now light speed, teleporting around the battlefield and unleashing tailed beast bombs, particle styles, and Night Guy. Caruto has truly become the God of Shinobi, and while he is now the ultimate Naruto character, I do wonder if Caruto could actually stack up against my new best friend's main hero, the ultimate anime character. Well, you should check out that video and see just how broken a character can get when he has access to any ability across all of anime, and then maybe I'll have these two battle it out. Death battle style, if you want to see that. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe and comment like. It does really help the channel, even if it's annoying to hear. And I hopefully will see you in this next one.